watching KMOH. I'm Lucia.
My name is Chris.
And today, at the last day of the 1940s, we're going to be taking you back all the way to the highlights of this decade. Let's start with Leon and the beginning of the war.
Thank you, Lucia. Anyway, so how did we get into the Delhi conflict that as the worst of mankind? Well, the answer is simple. On December 7th, 1941, the United States was attacked by the Empire of Japan at Pearl Harbor. The attack was sudden, unexpected, and most of all, deadly. Over 2,000 lives were lost, both military and civilian, during the attack. Both military and civilians were killed during the attack. While it was a Japanese tactical victory, they had no idea that they would wake up a sleeping giant. The attack united the United States and sent them, and the next day, Congress declared war on Japan. Now that you know why we went into the conflict, some of you may have this question. Who were the opposing enemies? Who fought who? And most importantly, why did they do it? The answer is not so simple. Yes, you might have the Allies and the Axis. However, it goes deeper than that. This all started back before World War II, when Japan, Italy, and Germany signed a pact that formed the now infamous Axis powers. Soon, while they did not have similar goals, they had one common enemy: communism. In this pact, they agreed to one thing: if any of them were attacked, the others will immediately declare war on the threat. Hence, why Germany and Italy declared war on us when we declared war on Japan.
Thank you, Leon. Our next topic of discussion is music and entertainment. Music was a popular topic of discussion during the 1940s. A popular genre of music was the pop. Bing Crosby was a popular artist during the 1940s with pop music. And many more artists changed the way music sounded, the way it was presented. Pop music, jazz music also became popular. Billie Holiday was a popular jazz artist throughout the 1940s. He became a successful artist around the world dealing with jazz. One of Billie Holiday's famous songs was Strange Fruits. This became a national success song for his career. Music and entertainment were a big part of the 1940s and the 1900s period because it allowed people to come together and cope with each other.
Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar tree. I want them all to know I'm strictly single.
Well, that old man River must know something, but he don't say nothing, 'cause it just keeps rolling along.
The event that saved us that won us the war occurred in August 8th and August 6th and August 9th of 1945. The bombings of that of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the only two cities to ever have been attacked using nuclear weapons in history. Nagasaki was hit at 8:15 a.m. The mission went pretty much according to plan. The plane was flying very high altitudes at the time, so it made the Japanese radar, who caught the plane on radar before the attack, but thought that they were a small number of fighter planes. There were some weather issues at Nagasaki that complicated the attack. However, they managed to deliver the bomb at midnight 3 days after Hiroshima. The Nagasaki was one of the biggest seaports in southern Japan. And unlike Hiroshima, there was no military base, and only civilians died in the attack.
Our next topic that we'll be talking about is fashion in the 1940s for both women and men. The main thing in the 1940s was a mix between looking comfortable but also looking glamorous. So, what many women wore, they were very into crop tops, shoulder pads, and their skirts would be very high up on them, while the men would wear suits, nice shoes, just looking very presentable. The also thing that was made for women was having the perfect hourglass figure. What many women now did is now they depended a lot on magazines and society to tell them what to look like. They would see the do's and don'ts on magazines, and that way they would see what was good to wear and what was not good to wear. Take a look at some of the main styles this decade.
Our next topic here at KOMH is minorities. The minorities were part of the Army. The minority groups were the Rangers, Marines, paratroopers, sailors, pilots, nurses, industrial workers, and civilians. From an armed forces of only 175,000 soldiers, it grew to an outrageous number. The soldiers went from 175,000 to 3 million. This was good because of the war.
Thank you. Now, 2 years after the end of World War II, we had to begin another war which will last until the 90s. Thanks a lot, Russia. It's now known as the Cold War, which is ironic because it's it's sweltering hot out here. Now on to the facts. The Cold War was a rivalry between between Russia and America and the U.S. capitalism and communism. It's called the Cold War because technically USA and Russia never really declared war on each other, so technically no shots were fired. The Cold War technically began when Russia refused to give back any of the satellite states it's gained during World War II, and to enforce communism on those satellite states. The U.S. attempted what's known as containment, which was to keep communism from spreading around the world.
During World War II in the 1940s, a huge genocide occurred where millions of Jews were killed by Adolf Hitler. Hitler did this as a way of revenge, as he blamed the Jews for making Germany lose World War I. He first punished the Jews by making them live in ghettos. Later, he would starve them, torture them, or maybe even kill them. Every single plan he had was made to destroy people's lives. He started this whole thing with the Night of the Broken Glass, by going into Jews' homes and killing them. He also used a form of torture and kill by gassing them. The Holocaust was a failed attempt at making Germany the world's first power, and it affected many lives all around the world.
Women have always worked, especially minority and lower class women. In the 1940s, the men were the most employed, but when they went off to war, women took their places. In 1942, Rosie the Riveter became very popular. The government created this fictional character as the ideal, perfect working woman. Pretty, loyal, efficient, and hardworking. Women responded to the call to work differently, depending on age, race, marital status, and even number of children they had. Initially, women with children under 14 were encouraged to stay at home because the government feared that a rise in mothers working would create a rise in juvenile delinquency. At the beginning of the war, 12 million women, or 1/4 of the workforce, were working. By the end of the war, 18 million women, or 1/3 of the workforce, were working. Initially, male employees and male-run unions were very suspicious of women. Women wanted to be treated like everyone else, and not just given special consideration or treatment since they were women. As time went on and more women entered the workforce, attitudes towards them changed. Employers started to praise them.
Thank you so much for watching our editions of the 1940s.
See you in the 1950s.